What I wanted to show you in this part is that these points don't represent fundamental things. What the Creative Society is spreading and what it claims it wants to get into the legislation of individual states is fine. There may be points which even I personally don't fully agree with, but just in theory. They're all nice ideas, yes. They could potentially be reworked, that's fine. The main problem isn't only in the texts, even if some parts seem a bit like science fiction. It's like a sudden leap to a paradise world, promises reminiscent of a communist society, which isn't surprising when pro-Russian Soviet propaganda comes into play. But the key issue is that it doesn't work like that in Allatra. This is something that Eva Hronova talks about in her interview. Let me find it. I have it open. You can find it on the Religious Info Service. It was published recently. And she describes various problematic phenomena. For example, right here she describes it. I left because what we had committed to, fulfilling the 8 statutes or curriculum, was no longer being followed. Human life. The prisoner of war in Ukraine was no longer a priority. The independence of the platform and the Creative Society wasn't respected. Politically, it was pro-Russian. Interviews were conducted with extremists, neo-Nazis, and anti-vaxxers. This contradicts the creative ideology. It shouldn't have been there because it's violent and such. Moreover, these people showed themselves in a good light in our conversations on the 17th. In November, our members only participated in a demonstration. Organized by Mr. Vrabel, the aggression against Ukraine wasn't condemned either. The aggressor who attacked a smaller state was bluffing. There was a lack of transparency in finance. That was the main point. But also behind-the-scenes groups. While it was supposed to be a universal project managed by everyone together, it was clearly built in a pyramid-like fashion. That's how it always looks from the start in those sectors. There is supposed to be equality. It's simple, because when you join that sect, you're all in a sort of circle, like a carousel, where there are seats and you're all sitting there. They spin you around and you're in the midst of brainwashing. You are all equal, you are all in the same position, but that's just you. That's always just the deception. Every time there is someone in the background, be it the guru, the charismatic leader, often there is more charismatic aristocracy, some VIP class that is allowed to do different things than ordinary people. So in the end, it's complete nonsense that it's all the same, because it's more like feudal Middle Ages, a king, some small nobility, and then a lot of people are just as bad. I'm not sure if it's ideal, but that's just where the Soviet Union was leading it, so it still resonates economically with similar ideas, but what's the point? The point is that for people like me, for example, if I didn't have experiences with Mormons and sects, I might have fallen in or let myself be lured by these slogans because it attracted people who are or want to be moral, who are altruistic, like they want to help others, who are looking for a connection with God, or want to help the world find a connection with God, and so on. They're not bad people who go the opposite way. And there is a paradox that quite often these movements create some sort of external set of rules that they declare on the outside, but then it functions differently on the inside. Here's a perfect example, and it's not surprising. Mrs. Hronova describes there how it seemed to have developed gradually. People always find out these things in sects. I've experienced it too. Even if they try. She's one of those people who doesn't follow everything blindly. You can see that she was not subservient. Maybe her family didn't agree with it and so on, so she wasn't indoctrinated. Yes, she kept searching. Even for such a person who is searching, it still takes some time because hints appear at the beginning, but you overlook them because there are a lot of good things happening at the same time.